Hi, and welcome back to Freeman Journal. Today we're going to be preparing my October bullet journal. As you can see, I've prepared some stickers and some decoration first. The main sticker is from Yumiko Tessaro, and then both sticker sheets are from Anikeru and Freya Hartas. I'm also using the washi tape from Paper Chase and then some different bits from my collection. We're starting with my cover page, and I want it to be all nice and beautiful for the autumn, so it's all going to be in shades of beige, browns and also deep oranges. So I'm starting with layering some papers in the corners to be able to frame everything, and then I'm going in with the washi tape. It's all little different critters. We've got some ravens, we've got some squirrel, I think we also have some rabbits, and I really like the look of it on the page. Then I'm going to start layering and testing which combination works the best in terms of the template, in terms of how it looks on the page. I'm also using stamp to write the months because I really do not trust my handwriting on this one, and I feel like the months in type letters like this, it gives a bit more charm to it. So once I've done that, I'm going to continue working on the layout of the page, make sure everything flows nicely and make sure everything goes together. So as you can see, I've got a bit of trying and error here to make sure everything looks perfect. Then I'm going in with a bit of color from the washi tape. This one is a burnt orange kind of color with some leaves in brown. It's really pretty for autumn, and I'm starting to layer everything perfectly on the page. I really like to take my time with those, make sure everything flows perfectly, make sure everything is nice on the page before I really get into it and glue. Also, something I've been doing this year in my bullet journal is I gave a chapter title to each of my months. I started it in January and I really liked how it felt, so I've been doing it every month. So as you can see, I'm going to start printing chapter 10 because October is the 10th month of the year, and then I will continue working on that page. Those stamps are not that expensive. I think I just got them from Amazon for very cheap, and same thing with the pad. Here you can see I'm layering everything, trying, seeing what works, what doesn't. I really want the colors to flow together nicely, and also don't want the chapter page to be taking over and being more than the cover page. So here we go, and then I'm going to be giving it a title, which is going to be A Sea of Projects. So September is the new month for us as teachers, and October is really going to be where I have a lot of projects I want to be working on with my students, and I'm going to be taking the time to plan that this month so I can start putting that into action in my lessons. So I go first with a normal pen, and then I go back with a calligraphy pen to try and give it a bit more dimension. I'm not very good at calligraphy, like I said, so I would rather do that than just mess up the first time around like I've done last month. I really wasn't that happy with the way it looked, so I decided to take a step back and go baby steps about it. And then I'm going to be adding a few more stickers here and there. Those mushrooms are just so adorable. I love the little critters. Then we're going to be starting on my calendar and my habit trackers. At the beginning of the year, I used to put my mood tracker in its own table, but for the past 2 months I've been trying to track it along with the date of the month so I can see what's going on there, and I've been really enjoying it so far, so I'm continuing to do that until the end of the year. The calendar is very important to me because I can see exactly what's happening at any time, and I can jot down important deadlines or meetings or anything like this. I also track 4 different moods: a big smiley face, small smiley face, a bit bothered face, and a sad face. Finally, I'm going to get started on the different weekends. Obviously, as a teacher, it's really important for me to know when the weekends are, so I know exactly what's happening, and it make it very obvious with this slight grey one when I'm going to be highlighting all the Sundays and Saturdays of the month. At this point, I'm going to start making the titles for each page of my setup. So we have the calendar that we've been working on. We've got the calendar, we've got the habit tracker, we've got the teacher planner, and the content planner, the content calendar. I was thinking about doing them individually, but then I realized it would be a bit of a waste of time, so I've put all of them together because I do want them to have the same look and to feel like everything is coherent between pages. So it takes a bit of time to stamp everything, and as you can see, the stamps are not the best qualities, but I kind of like the vintage rough look to them. So I'm stamping away, and then I will be making sure to cut them all perfectly. Usually I'm going to be ripping the pages, but this time I'm going to be folding it first because I don't want like a big tear down look to it. I want it a bit more subtle but not cut by the scissors. So I'm just folding and tearing, and it's still straight while giving a bit of texture to them, which I really like in that case. Also, a problem that I've been having with my journal is, because I've been using it a lot, the top half of the journal is much more chunkier than the bottom, because the top 10% is where I put all my titles and all my washi tapes, so we can really feel the bulk of it. So for the next few months I'm going to try to put some of the titles at the bottom to try to even it out a tiny bit, because right now I can really feel the difference when I'm writing from top to bottom. Now I'm going to be adding some washi tape to frame everything. I'm using the same as the pages before because I want everything to be coherent and fitting perfectly. And then I realize that I didn't place them correctly, so I go back and I make sure they're all one square away from the top or the bottom, because otherwise I'm just going to be bothering me all months long. And then a bit of decoration on the calendar page with some cute stickers. The little hamster is just adorable, and I love the little creatures going onto the market and stuff like this. It's really, really cute. I just really love those stickers. And then we move on to the tracking page for my habits. Every month I track the exact same 9 habits, so I can just like see my progress through the months. We've got my morning and evening routines for my skincare. We've got my water intake, my healthy eating, if I'm journaling, if I'm reading, if I'm creating anything, doing any kind of arts and craft, how many days I've spent, and my Portuguese lessons. Now we are moving on to my teaching planner. As I said, I'm a teacher full-time, and this page is really important to me because otherwise it gets lost into different calendars, different notebooks, and it's a bit of a mess. So every month I use double page to be tracking what I'm supposed to be teaching with each of my classes, and also which resources I want to be creating. Right now I'm going to leave it plain because I need to be cutting and printing a little calendar for the half term, and then I will decide what works best for me for this double page. And here we go. And finally, the worst page of this set. I had so much trouble with my content calendar this month. So it started out well, like I framed it with the same washi tape, and then I put the titles, everything goes perfect. And then, first off, my phone decided to run out of battery and run out of memory, so it stopped filming altogether, so there's a big gap in the video. It was coming to arrive right there. And then, when I've done the boxes, there are so many mistakes. First off, one of the boxes is bigger than the others, the gaps are not the same, and as you can see right there, I'm numbering everything wrong. And I'm starting to realize there is an issue, and there is 2 issues. Not enough days at the top and too many days at the bottom. It should have started not with a Monday, and I just realized that now. Yep, that's me. and I'll be honest, I just gave up at that point. It'd been like an hour and a half of filming and it's still not fixed, but I'm not sure what's going to happen next. Finally, I am doing my weekly spreads. So unlike a lot of people, I don't do boxes for each day of the week because it really depends on the day-to-day basic how many tasks I've got. So for example, Monday is my lightest day of lessons, so that's going to be where I do my planning, my photocopying, my everything. And Wednesday I've got lessons back to back to back, so usually I do not have time to do anything besides teaching. So I just separate each page into 2 columns, and then I do a bit of decoration on them to make it pretty and ready for the week. As you can see, I also put some little boxes, and that is where I'm going to be tracking my lesson plans and which lesson I've planned for the week. So every time I put boxes for the number of lessons per group, and then as I start planning, I'm just popping it there and ticking as I go. And that's it. Here we go. We've got a little bit of a preview. Everything looks clag and fancy if you don't look at the content calendar. But thank you so much for watching, guys, and please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. I'm posting every weekend on Sunday. Goodbye.